Check my progress for Chapter 5. This is the study guide for lessons 4 through 7. So our first set of directions are to add. We want to use base 10 blocks, draw the results in the table. Now for the ones, we would use a flat, which would be this entire box or block. We call that a flat. So it's we're going to use a big square. A tenth would be a column of 10 little squares. So we can just, you can use a picture like that. And then 100th is just one little tiny square. Okay? So for our addition problem, we don't have any ones. We have 67/100ths and 38/100ths. I could draw 67 little tiny blocks or 38, but instead what I'm going to do is draw 6/10, 3/10, and that's going to give me a total of 9/10. And then I'm going to draw 7/100ths, and 8/100ths, and that will give me 15/100ths. Now 10 of these right here equals a tenth. So I'm going to cross this off and add one here, and now this becomes 10, okay? And 10 of these, I can cross that off, becomes a 1, or 1 flat. So now we have 1 whole, and then what we have left over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundredths, and we have no tenths. So our answer would be 1 and 0, 5. So 1 and 5 hundredths. Now if we want to check that, which is always a good idea, we can do some arithmetic. Remember, when you are adding decimals, you line up the decimal points. 7 plus 8 is 15, carry the 1. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, carry the 1. Bring down the decimal point. 1 plus nothing is 1. So that matches. Okay, our next set of directions say add. Use decimal models. All right, so here we have 1 whole flat. So we're going to color in 1 whole. We're going to shade it all in. Okay, and then we also have another flat. All right, now here we have 4 hundredths, so I'm going to shade in just 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have 5. Okay, so that would give me a total of 9. Let me put a little 9 there. And then here I have 3/10, so that would be 3 total columns. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. So that would be 3/10 right here, because I have 3 columns. Okay, so that would give me 2 and 39/100ths. And if we want to double check our answer, we can. Again, we want to line up our decimal points for addition. 5 plus 4 is 9. 0 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus 1 is 2. And our answers match. Next, we're going to add. We have 5 and 93/100ths plus 10 and 42/100ths. Line up your decimal points. 3 plus 2 is 5. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry the 1. Bring down the decimal point. 5 plus 1 is 6. 1 plus nothing is 1. Our answer is 16 and 35/100ths. Our next problem is 7/10ths. And I'm going to put my decimal point underneath this decimal point for my next number. And then I'm going to write my number on either side. 0, 3, 3. I have to add a 0 as a placeholder. 0 plus 3 is 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. Bring down the decimal point. 1 plus 0 is 1. So I have 1 and 3/100ths. Next, I have 11 and 4/100ths plus 25/100ths. Again, I'm going to draw my decimal point first and then write the numbers around the decimal point. I see a 0 before the decimal point and a 2 and a 5 afterwards. I don't need to add any additional zeros. 4 plus 5 is 9. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus nothing is 1. So my answer is 11 and 29/100ths. All right, now we're moving on to use properties of addition to find each sum mentally. Show your steps and identify the properties that you used. Okay, so what we can do here is we have 13 plus 29 plus 7. I know that 7 plus 3 is 10, and that's a friendly compatible number. So I'm going to rearrange this number in my head, okay? But I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to, in my head, do 13 plus 7 plus 29. Now, the ability to rearrange these numbers is called the commutative property. Okay. Now that I've rearranged it, I'm going to first solve 13 plus 7. Then I'm going to add 29. That is called the associative property. The associative property is when we group add-ins together. Now, add-ins are the numbers that we add. So 13, 7, and 29 are called add-ins. So 13 plus 7 is 20, plus 29 equals 49. So my answer is 49. So this is what your test is going to include, okay? You're going to have to add, show base 10 blocks. You're going to have to shade in some base 10 blocks again. You're going to have to add decimal numbers, and you're going to have to show properties of addition, okay? So you want to know the commutative property and the associative property. If you don't know those, look those up on YouTube again, okay? So good luck on your quiz.